G'day guys, Rolfus here bringing you a new video. I did promise I was going to release a video about how I went in the last tournament. It was a doozy of a tournament. It was really good fun. I was hoping to record this video a bit earlier, but work and life got in the way. So it was a really good tournament, run really well as per usual by James and the crew there. So I'll tell my result now, and I'll go through the games quickly because I started recording and I realised I hadn't charged my camera. So hopefully the camera holds out to the end of this short video. I'm also sitting down in the lounge room, very casual-like. Alright, so I'll go to game one. My first game was against Stuart. He lives up north. I live in south of Tasmania. He's in north of Tasmania. And he had a squig off. And he put the squig off. He actually made a personalised little carry case for the squig off in his little cage. And every time we started to play, let the cage, the squig off out of the cage. I'll put a photo up there of the squig off. It was amazing. Really good game, actually. Titans are very... they suffer a lot in 9th edition because they don't get benefits of obscuring and that. So I could shoot the squig off through the terrain. Although, in hindsight, in the game, it was a bit of a distraction kind of effects because you had like a scrap jet and that sort of thing. I was playing orcs, if you can't tell by now. I should have said it first. But basically, it was a fun game. I killed the squig off almost in one round of shooting with all the heavy destroyers and the ghost Doomsday Arcs because they could shoot for the terrain. I got there like 4 or 5 wounds and I killed it pretty easy next turn. But he had a scrap jet whiz banger bomber, whatever the hell it's called, came flying over turn 1 and just nuked a Doomsday Arc turn 1. I was like, I probably should have shot that first. But we had a good fun. It was actually really close, and I actually won that by 62 to 56 points. It was only like, what was it, 7 points? No, 6 points. I think I scored like 20 points in the last turn of the game because I managed to get them the objectives and that sort of stuff. But it was a crazy, crazy game. Just orcs will not die, and they were just it was great fun. Great guy too. Second game was against Dark Angel, so I'll tell you the army I played first before I tell you what's happened. It was a pretty close game to begin with. Unfortunately, I just played Jesse's army. It was actually not bad for him. We actually had a practice game on the Tuesday before the tournament. So I sort of knew what to target first, but also he knew what to target first. So he targeted my warriors and thinned them out a lot. But then I knew what to target. I targeted his he got his flying dude out of position, the Talon Master, or some idiot who shoots lots of guns and hits on 2s and that sort of thing. So I managed to playing with my gimbal. I took him out pretty early because he got out of position a little bit, and it was pretty easy going from then on. Because the Talon Master was just leading like 15 warriors a turn. It was crazy when I first played against him. So I made sure I targeted him. I took him out. He had some dreadnoughts and that sort of stuff. I'll try to put some photos up as I talk. I didn't actually take any myself, but James took a few and uploaded them to our Facebook page. I'll link that in the description maybe too. There's my finger. So that was an 89 point to 62 point win for me. Again, I sort of ran away with the points in the last couple of turns. I was just sort of picking away at Jesse's army piecemeal and then sort of scored a lot of points, right? Which is what you kind of do with Necrons. You can either go that way or you can sort of try to be really aggressive and try to push out really early, which is really hard to do in the current meta, I believe, of Necrons, but someone else may know better. Third game. Now, this is a crazy, crazy game. This is against Adam Davies. He's played a few times on my channel already. This was really close. This was actually a 90 to 86 win to me. I barely won by the skin of my teeth on the last turn. Yeah, Adam's a really good player, and he just loves his salamanders. He's always playing his salamanders, so he knows really well how to play him. But I also knew how to play against because I played him a few times. So when I was like firing, say, like my heavy destroyers, I was targeting. He had lots of flamestorm aggressors and eradicators. So I'd like fire one at each unit. So one heavy destroyer, like one aggressor unit, one at another aggressor unit, another one at not eliminators, they are eradicators. Yes, don't know what to no finger there. That way you can like transhuman like one squad and like save against everything. You have to choose a squad to transhuman, and then I'd throw little bits of bobs everywhere. And once we knew where he's going to transhuman, I'd sort of focus down the other units. So that worked out pretty well. I wouldn't say lost my cool, but there was one moment in the game where I went to send my Scorpex out to push into the middle because there was like a big LFS blocking. It was like true line sight blocking, massive winning in the middle, and it was really hard to push him out of that. And he was took over a moment, so sort of sitting behind in this big I'll try to bring up a photo. I can't remember if I took a photo or not. But basically a big L shape in the middle. And I couldn't see into it. And it was like right near my deployment zone. He was just sitting there giving out his buffs and just getting over for moments. So I went to send the Scorpex in to try to push him out of the middle. And they charged into there was a unit of incursors, or was it, no, infiltrators. And I forgot about the sympathetic Overwatch and the extra heroic intervention strat. So he had Baratheon, I think it is, the special character Dreadnought. So he shot 2d6 flamer shots at my Scorpex, and it was like that damage 2, like AP 2 or something like that. I only killed 2 of them. That wasn't too bad, but I was like, no, but it wasn't really a gotcha because I played him a fair bit, but it was just one of those moments where I was like, very late in the day. It was the third game. It was just one of those things I didn't think about. So I just sort of charged them in. I didn't really think about where I played, so I was like, oh, whatever. But then he rolled his 2d6 for heroic intervention. He rolled a 4. If I actually had placed the Scorpex in a better spot, you would have needed like at least a 7 or 8 to get to him. This is pretty crucial because I'm going to talk about that in a second. So yeah, just losing your cool, that sort of moment where you just lose focus and you're like, oh, whatever, they're dead anyway, so why bother? I should have just calmly thought, all right, I'll get as far away as possible and it'll stop him moving around. Because in the end, the Scorpex charged in and he rolled like a 4 for his heroic intervention. Because I put him so close, I was easily got into him. Later in the game, the Scorpex actually dying to Baratheon. I call him Baratheon. I think that's a Game of Thrones character. I don't know. You actually got a bit extra movement to come around. Sorry, my hand is really big when I do sit like this. And he actually got around to the Silent King, which is one of my to the last. So basically, he had extra assets to take out the Silent King, which he did eventually. But if he hadn't had that extra asset to take out the Silent King, I probably would have been a bit better off. So this goes to show, I'm just fascinated by fingers today. Just don't lose your cool. Just do everything precisely to your best ability, and it should work out in the end. Because if you lose your cool and you make a mistake, that's when things fall down. But yes, yeah, so that was a 90 to 86 point win to me, which was crazy. I think I managed to shoot him off in the objective because I went second, which gave me an extra 5 points on the primary or something like that. It was an amazing game. One of those games where I just wish I could recall because I just went at the last moment. So I was down to day 1. So I was 3-0. I got lifted up to town with Pete, who's been on the channel. He was playing Orcs at the time, and we actually drew each other in the first game of the second day. So on the drive up to town, I was like, "You going to give me a lift home still, Pete, if I beat you?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Oh no," but bit of banter. Of course, he's going to give me a lift home. I bought him breakfast, so you know, sweeten the deal a bit if I did win. So second day we turned up. We were pretty much ready to go straight away because we knew we were playing each other because of the app, and we got straight into it. And it was a bit of back and forth. I went first. That was pretty crucial because he was playing Orcs. I keep forgetting to tell you I've been playing against. So the Orcs deployed across, and we had like had a battle wagon and two zappy psychic kill rigs across from me, but I went first. So that was pretty crucial because I got to put a lot of firepower into his kill rigs. I think I got one down to like 2 or 3 wounds left. Did some smattering of damage. So he was pretty crippled before the game really started, and he just couldn't really come back from it. But then he had something like 15 Storm Boys charge into, I think it was about roughly 15 warriors. And I was like, I'll take them off. And I thought, no, I won't take them off. Roll it out. And there was one warrior alive after something like 60 attacks from Goth Storm Boys. Exploding on 5s to hit, winning on 3s because I was strength 5. But something like, you got like 20 wounds out of like 50 hits or something. Winning on 3s was just ridiculous. I made these armor saves. They were all dead to a person or to a Necron, but he's the CP. I rolled it into a 5. So there's one Necron warrior just stood there, and then something like 18 warriors came back from the Resob next. It was just disgusting what the dice rolls. That one warrior survived. I probably would have been alright if he had a kill more, because I was expecting them to die because there was a lot of attacks. I had Scorpex there ready to pounce onto the Storm Boys and that sort of stuff, so I wasn't too worried. But it just made the game a lot easier for me, not harder for Pete, and he wasn't happy. And I don't blame him. I said, you're allowed to use naughty words if you like, Pete. So there was a 95 points for me and 50 points to Pete. And again, it was just there. It should have been a lot closer, but yeah, just one of those games where the dice just did not like Pete. They don't normally like Pete. So this is a 5-game tournament. So we're 4-0 going into the last game, and then I draw. We got top table. Yeah, it was on the top table this one because Shannon played Liam, was playing Sisters, who's been on the channel before, and they're normally like always pretty much the top at the moment. And Shannon actually beat Liam because I actually wanted to play Liam's Sisters because I've actually played him a couple of times, and I thought I had an okay chance. But I played Shannon's Grey Knight. Now he agrees that he is a meta chaser. He literally he was playing Drakari before the nerf and basically copied and pasted the best Drakari list in the world. I can't remember who ran it. Don't keep up with the meta. But then he went out and bought a Grey Knights list because Drakari got nerfed, and this Grey Knights list did well. So I think he literally went out and bought it and painted it up, and I don't know, God knows, like a month or so, if that, probably a few weeks. Now I was supposed to play him on in a practice game a couple of days before the tournament, but he cancelled because life and stuff gets in the way. So I go, well, whatever. So here I am with my little Necron army, 4-0 against this tournament-winning Grey Knight army, and I was like, oh, this is going to be rough. So I sort of went into the game, we try my best, but I don't want to get too upset if I don't win because it's a meta army against a non-meta army, basically. I had some sort of is a bit meta because I was running some destroyers and that sort of stuff, but he actually won the roll off to deploy, and again there was like this weird L-shaped, completely blocked line of sight building in the middle, like near my deployment zone, so you could sort of get up the board and not be shot at. So I was hoping to win the roll off to choose the deployment zone so I could go on the other side of it, so he had less room, but you can't help these things. And then we rolled off and he went first. I wasn't too sure what the Grey Knights did. I thought they were going to be like a lot of psychic powers, but no. There was 5 Dread Knights. I think they're called Dread Knights. There's 3 Knights, and they'd basically be Dreadnoughts, I don't know what they're called, and the 2 character ones, and they just completely hosed down my warriors. And I was like, okay, this is not good. They did struggle a lot against the Doomsday Arcs and the Silent King, so I did kill a couple back. But yeah, it was one of those things where if I had to actually played that practice game against Shannon, I wouldn't say probably won, but I would have had a better chance of winning because I would have known the tricks and stuff, because I didn't realise like the Knights could give each other like +1 damage and +1 to wound or whatever. It was just, yeah, nasty. Hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, wounding on 2s, re-rolling 1s was just with like 18 shots from all their size and Gatlings and that sort of stuff. It was just craziness. But actually, I was pretty happy with the way I went there. I just got my app here. So it was actually 60 points to me to 90 points to Shannon. I kept trying every time, even though I was getting hit pretty hard and I was pretty sure I was going to lose. I kept trying because you just don't know. Necrons, especially like the high damage, high AP, high volume of shots. Like I think I one-shotted like a Dreadnought with like a Doomsday Arc or something. It was crazy stuff. Just the amount of output you can actually get out is crazy. But unfortunately, by the time I sort of slowly started coming back, the game was pretty much over because he was doing like psychic rituals of his Inceptors. He was getting engaged with his Inceptors, and he was just getting robbed with Inceptors as well, I believe. It was something like that. It was just basically getting the points really early, just throwing stuff in my face, coming forth with Inceptors, sitting back with his Dreadnoughts, and it was just, I couldn't really get into his back line with my Veil on that sort of stuff because he had it pretty well screened. Really good player. Like there was nothing against his play style. Really good army, obviously because it's one of the best armies in the world. But yeah, pretty proud of my effort there. So I went 4-1 in the end, which is pretty good. Not going to lie. The list is pretty good. The score packs never really did much. I wasn't expecting them to do much. They weren't, I don't know, this sort of chucked in there in the end because I wanted something that could like counter punch. But they can't really hit out enough. And then even though they got the toughness 5 and the 3 wounds, and they got the -1 to wound stratagem, they're just not strong enough, not durable enough. So I'm probably going to go with Wraiths, I think. I might get some Wraiths eventually. Not going to run in and get them just because it's Christmas time and that sort of stuff. I don't want to keep chasing like meta and that sort of thing because I'm not that sort of person. But yeah, I reckon Wraiths will be the way to go in the future just because they got the invulnerable, they got the speed, like they can move up to 14. If you've got base 12 movement, +1 near a character or like a character of Relentless March. And then you can go +1 from the Sun and the Storm protocol. So movement 14, they can go for any terrain. and they can do a charge. They can fall back and charge if they need to. You give them whip coils, I believe it is, and get like a huge amount of attacks, like 3 or 4 attacks. No, is it 3 or 4? 3 attacks base, but they can double up to 6, and they can reroll the wound of the Silent King, plus 1 to hit with the Silent King. You can really throw out some good hitting power in combat. Plus the staying power with the toughness 5 and the invulnerable and that sort of stuff's really good. And you can bring them back with a Technomancer. I've actually made up a bit of a theoretical list, I suppose you could say, of what I wouldn't mind making. But it's just, I might do some playtest games where I just proxy like some Scorpex in for some Wraiths, that sort of thing. But yeah, so that was it. 4-1 over 2 days. Very crazy. Again, when you're in a tournament, try not to lose your cool. Like, yeah, I didn't go like off my head or anything. I just wasn't thinking straight because I was a bit caught off guard, and just, yeah, one of those moments where it's just like, oh, I forgot about that, and now I think I've stuffed myself, and now I'm going to lose. Where it's just, no, I made a mistake. Let's just deal with it right here and now, and then move on and just change the plan around it, that sort of thing. But yeah, everyone was awesome. All my opponents were really good. Yeah, so I'll get some photos up as maybe at the end here, some more photos. Going into a teams tournament in March, I believe it is, which is pretty cool. It's going to be myself, Lewis, and Pete. So it's going to be probably Necrons, Black Templars, and Orcs. 3 boys. We're going to call ourselves Knobs. Necrons, Orcs, and Black Templars. Just because why not? Going to be a bit of fun. I think my camera's about to die, so I'll probably leave it there for now. Hopefully some battle reports coming up soon after Christmas. We just got our allocation of Hot Cross Bun tickets and that sort of thing at work. So, yeah, it's not even, Christmas hasn't even been gone yet, and we've got Hot Cross Bun stuff. Working in a supermarket bakery. It's just amazing. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I don't normally say that, but, you know, I've got to say it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.